County Sheriff's Office says nearly 90 children are in protective custody after reports of child abuse and child endangerment at a religious camp. The Sheriff's Office says several local and state law enforcement agencies responded to 2 properties in the Columbus Junction area last week.
Look at this place,
Leaders
too.
with a religious group who run the camp.
Doesn't this place just look like kind of weird? Kind of a weird place to just bring just some I mean, I guess this is what you get in Iowa, but I don't know, man. I always envisioned it would be an actual fucking event center or something like that. There's just something weird at service level where it's okay, this is the place. Basically plains with some sheds and trees. They're probably just all in tents or something, right? There's just too many. I don't know, man. It's a little weird. Look, here's the thing. I bet if most of these kids' parents had actually been there, a lot of them would raise some eyebrows. In 2025, it would have been okay. And a lot of them it's. I guess the one kid was able to call, so maybe this isn't the case. But when I was growing up, at least I feel like cell phones were very much if not prohibited, they were very anti-cell phones, right? So, I mean, you're kind of taking the accountability off the counselors and the people who run it in that sense, right? You're not giving kids an ability to access. Like I said, obviously the kid was able to call, so that's good. And look, like I said, it's really good that the Department of Human Health Services and the local police or whoever, I'm really glad that they responded to this and pulled people out of this situation. There's obviously some, and we'll just play the rest of the clip because there's one part of this clip that I find really revealing.
Kingdom Ministry of Rehab and Recreation and the Shekinah Glory Camp say it's a camp for Christian teenagers from all over the country. One of the camp's leaders says a 15-year-old from Texas called authorities because he didn't want to be there. He said no children were ever in danger.
No, we never harmed that child. We loved him. We bought him shoes. We bought him, we bought him shoes. We bought him $400 shoes, clothing, everything.
I don't know, man. Why? You floating in money? Look, not to be that guy. Not to be a little racist, but or not even racist, just at face. You think that guy just has $400 lying around where he's oh yeah, I'm gonna give this. Also, $400 pair of shoes. I don't think I've ever gone to a store and been especially in Iowa, gone to a store and been oh hey, $400 for shoes. Yeah, that makes sense. So look, I mean, this is similar to this is similar to when you have a business that has costs and expenses that are way higher than they should be, right? Usually it implies that there's some, if not illicit, some shady things going on. Look, I'm just assuming here. I don't know the facts. This is something that's still ongoing and they're still investigating. But if I were to bet, or if I were to gamble on this, if I were to cast my assertions, something really malicious happened to this kid. And in order to contain the situation, they were let's give this kid let's pay him off. Right. And again, not that I think that anybody should be taxed, but there is something that I will always point to in kind of to offer an olive branch that side of the aisle. These churches don't pay taxes, so they do ultimately have more money in their pocket than any business or any, maybe not government association, but at the very least any business, unless they're some corporate conglomerate thing, right? Any regular old Joe business is going to have a much harder time having these kind of funds and competing this kind of way versus someone like this. So I just found that extremely revealing. I was what the Like, and like what, like kind of the guy in the TikToker that was like kind of revealing all this kind of said this too. It's like this is the guy that you had talked to you like, again, not trying to be racist or anything, but it's like you really couldn't like find someone better in Iowa to speak to the news. Like that kind of raises an eyebrow too. Like what, the people who really run it, like they don't want to talk to someone either. It's just fishy. And I guess my point with all this is like, to wrap this up, like people need to like question the actions of churches more. Don't just send your kid to a fucking camp because it's affiliated to Christianity. Please don't. Look, I went to camp. I never had any kind of molestation or abuse happen to me. I never heard of that happening. I know that the people who ran it were pretty heavily religious, but besides, I mean, not even. So there was a thing, like a saying at the camp that went, "I'm third," and the idea was God first, others second, I'm third. But they specifically said, they were like, God doesn't even necessarily need to mean a higher power. It can just be your values. So, I mean, it was pretty, like, it was not at all like a religious camp. It was very much like the focus was like boys growing up to be men. And look, there's something really positive in that, right? Like, but that was more of like a business-esque option. That wasn't affiliated with the church. That was like, these guys had a business that had, like, you had to pay a certain fee, and it wasn't cheap. It definitely wasn't cheap, but like you had to pay a certain fee to bring your kid there, and like, but like that's also something. I mean, I'm sure that these parents of these kids had to pay some fee for that camp as well. Who knows? They'll probably never get refunded. I would be shocked if any of these kids' parents got refunded for this, right? You know, like, but I feel like in a business model, there is some, like we were talking about with the river, right? There is some kind of accountability there. When you have like the guise of religion, there's no accountability. I guarantee you, I don't even want to guarantee. Maybe they will actually rightfully investigate into this, and people will actually be revealed as being perpetrators or whatever, which is what has been speculated. But look, I also wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way, where they did this investigation and they just, nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know why? Because the state is so entrenched in religion, so entrenched in Christianity, that there just isn't really a motivation